The internet has made it easier than ever to start a business. Succeeding on the internet, now that's another story. The big question is, what are those who are succeeding doing differently? This podcast has the answers. Welcome to the Marketing Matrix podcast, guys. I'm your host, Lisanne Murphy, and I am here with the incredible, talented, and good friend of mine, Michael Johnson. Michael, thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Oh, guys, this guy is the real deal. I'm so excited to bring him on the show. I want to take a second to introduce him and then let him just take it away and blow our minds today. I love what he shares. It is simple and powerful. So buckle your seatbelts and let's go. So Michael Johnson is an author, life coach, master NLP practitioner, and a peak performance coach. He works with entrepreneurs to help them learn the necessary tools to upgrade their internal operating systems so they can find a balance between business and life. With over 25 years of teaching and coaching experience, Michael brings a unique and effective approach to taking your life to the next level using emotional education, intelligence, and mastery to deal with the challenges life and business throw at you every day. Oh, okay, we're so excited to get into this. Michael, thanks so much for joining us.
For sure. I'm excited. This is going to be fun.
Oh, it's already been a blast, guys. We've already had the opportunity to be talking for the last little bit. I'm so excited for you to hear that deep dive that we're going to release in just a couple days. So as an intro to our listeners, Michael, I would love for you to give just a background of like, how did you get into this world of NLP and mastering the internal operating system?
Well, I was a professional ballroom dance competitor. I danced on the circuit for about 10 years. And, way down the line, I found myself judging and realized, holy cow, I'm here and this isn't where I want to be. Earlier on my journey, I had found that I had this passion for personal development, and sort of the soul of the world started calling me and going, hey, you need to help change the lives of people and get on that. And so I started heading down that path, got a lot of training in personal development, life coaching. It was quite the journey. And all of that stuff that I was doing helped me actually become a better competitor, better dancer. I had a ton of success in the ballroom world. And it led me right down the path to where I didn't want to be. And it was great. So then, when it was all said and done, I finally made that change and that transition out of struggling and being a place that was good, but wasn't where I was supposed to be. And I ended up being able to help people, specifically entrepreneurs that are trying to get out of that spot where they know they shouldn't be there, but they're making money and everything seems okay. And so now that's what I do. Now I use all that training to help those people get themselves worked out so they can be in a better place, find clarity, overcome their internal blocks, and really take their life to the next level and their business too. So that's kind of the short version.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, guys, you can catch the whole story. It really is fascinating in our long episode on Wednesday. So make sure to check that out. So in this episode, I always ask my guests the same question. And so we're really excited to hear your answer to this. And the question is this: what small marketing strategy or tactic has made the biggest difference in your business and why?
I would say that when it's all said and done, authenticity is key. And you said small, and even though it's small, it's of epic proportions. I think with authenticity, working from the inside out, figuring out your self-awareness so that you can actually be true when you're speaking, when you're congruent, when you are excited about what it is that your thing is, doesn't matter what your thing is, and you can be authentic about it, people are going to be drawn to you. There's no mechanical tactic that can beat that. If you can be real, they will come. The people will come. And it's not about if you build it, it's about if you build you. And so that authenticity is majorly important.
Yeah. So give us some tips on like how it really happens, because I think that I know when I was in the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, you hear a lot right now about imposter syndrome, right? You feel like you're an imposter and is what you have to offer really that great? And I think that feeling really blocks your ability to be authentic. And so how do you help people navigate through that imposter syndrome to be able to be authentic so that they can make the impact that you're talking about?
For most people, when you get to that place where you feel like maybe you aren't who you are saying you are, right? And where there's that conflict inside, it's because there's an internal block that comes from something you've done along the way that's told you, hey, you should be cautious and take care. It's that same thing that if you were going to go jump out of a plane, you go, maybe I shouldn't do that because we weren't meant to jump out of a plane. So you have to actually talk yourself into it. And I think that's the case here is you work on knowing thyself. That's from Socrates ages ago, right? Know thyself and learn yourself is what I say in our lifer framework. And knowing yourself, getting in, figuring out your internal block, the thing that keeps you from actually being congruent, that will get rid of that imposter syndrome. And when you do that, everything lines up and you can be congruent and you're set free to go.
I love it. So how do you know if you're being authentic? Like, are there like some indicators that are like my authenticity scale? I'm super
Yeah.
authentic, or I'm not as authentic as I need to be, or?
I think I teach this and have taught this to my professional dancers, the ones that are out there doing it for the love. And one of the things that they're trying to do is present authenticity. But I tell them, listen, you have to actually do this like you don't care about the mark. And that is such an antithesis. It is the exact opposite of what you're thinking when you're a competitor. You're thinking, I'm going to win. I've got to beat that person next to me because that's what competitors do, right? Not really. No, actually, it's an internal thing. I can compete with myself if I can get better than I was the day before. And so by actually getting to this place where you don't care what other people think and you don't care what their opinion is of you and that you're being true to what you want to do, that's a hard place to get to because we do want to care about other people. But there's a difference between caring about other people and caring about what they think about you. And that's a big deal, right? So if we can figure out how to let go, and it's the retirement idea for most dancers, when they retire, that's when they do their best dancing because they stopped caring about the mark. They stopped caring about the end result. And that's what we have to do as entrepreneurs. We have to stop caring about the $1 million. We have to stop caring about that. Now, it doesn't mean it's not important. It's not on the goals and it's not something we shoot for as a milestone. But what it does mean is that we have to start caring about what it is that we're trying to get across, the message that we're trying to do, and making it as valuable as possible and as real as possible. And when that happens and we can let go and stop caring, that's when we're going to find our greatest success.
I love that. That's so fascinating. So recognizing that as we're authentic, we will actually go farther in the long run than focusing on
Yeah.
things that should be a means to an end, like
Yeah.
making money or whatever it might be.
Well, that's a huge deal because a lot of times you hear there's two ends of the marketing, right? Do what you love. And the other end is find what the market wants and sell them that. These are conflicting ideas. And there are some people out there that are like, well, I just need the money. So I'm going to just find what the market wants and I'm going to give it to them. And there's lots of our gurus that teach us that. Find what the market wants and give it to them. And then they, on the other side, they speak from the other half of their face and say, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And you're like, wait a second, you said find what the market wants and give it to them. And I think that it's about being able to merge that and say, okay, I'm going to do what I love and find out what the market wants from what I love, not just anything the market wants. Because I think anybody can make $1 million selling a thing that they hate. But if the market wants that thing that they hate, they can still make $1 million on it, but they're going to get to that end result. They're going to be standing there judging in the limelight, overweight, in a suit they don't belong in, going, why am I here?
Yeah, I love that. Oh, that's so good. All right, Michael. Well, how can people follow you, absorb some of your content, be a part of your journey?
Best way to find us is at our Magic for Life podcast. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. You can even go to magicforlife.com and there's a link there to get to it. And that's the best way to find us and connect with us if you're wanting a book on taking your life to the next level and learning about this idea and this concept. I just released a new book called Every Minute Book, and you can find that at everyminutebook.com.
That's awesome. Okay, guys, we're super excited. He's also being super generous. He alluded to this. He talked about the Lifer framework. So he talked a little bit about that in the last few minutes, but he's actually allowing us to put that in the Marketing Matrix toolbox. So we're super stoked and we're grateful so much for your generosity in putting that. So make sure to log into your members area because that's going to be there this week for you to have for free because Michael is so generous and so great. So thank you so much, Michael. It has been a pleasure having you on the Marketing Matrix today. It has been a pleasure getting to know you better as a friend that lives just down the road that we still haven't even met yet in person. But seriously, thank you for being on the Marketing Matrix.
It's my pleasure. I'm glad to be here, and I am so thankful for you and your show. And if you haven't consumed all of her content, go and listen to all the other podcasts. Go get the toolbox, and you got to get this stuff. It's amazing. Guys, what are you waiting for? Go get the stuff. It's awesome.
Thanks so much, my friend.
Access denied. Access granted. Access granted.